Q5212. An airplane will stall at the same A. Angle of attack regardless of the attitude with relation to the horizon. B. Airspeed regardless of the attitude with relation to the horizon. C. Angle of attack and attitude with relation to the horizon. The correct answer is A. An airplane stalls when the angle of attack of its wings exceeds a certain critical value. The angle of attack is the angle between the chord line of the wing and the direction of the oncoming airflow. It is the primary factor that determines the generation of lift and the potential for stalling. The angle of attack required to induce a stall is independent of the attitude of the airplane with relation to the horizon. Whether the airplane is in a level flight, climbing, or descending attitude, the stall will occur when the critical angle of attack is reached. The airspeed of the airplane may vary depending on its attitude, but the angle of attack at which the stall occurs remains the same. Therefore, the correct answer is that an airplane will stall at the same angle of attack regardless of the attitude in relation to the horizon. 5228. Longitudinal stability involves the motion of the airplane controlled by its A. Rudder. B. Elevator. C. Ailerons. The correct answer is B. Longitudinal stability refers to the stability of an airplane around its lateral axis, which is an imaginary line running from wingtip to wingtip. It involves the motion of the airplane in pitch, which is the up and down movement of the nose. The elevator is the primary control surface responsible for controlling the pitch motion of the airplane. It is located on the horizontal stabilizer, usually at the rear of the airplane. By deflecting the elevator, the pilot can change the angle of attack of the airplane's wings, which in turn affects the lift and pitch attitude of the aircraft. The rudder is responsible for controlling the yaw motion of the airplane around its vertical axis, and the ailerons control the roll motion around the longitudinal axis. While these control surfaces contribute to the overall stability and control of the airplane, they are not primarily responsible for longitudinal stability. Therefore, the correct answer is that the elevator controls the longitudinal stability of an airplane. 5230. If the airplane attitude initially tends to return to its original position after the elevator control is pressed forward and released, the airplane displays A. Positive dynamic stability. B. Positive static stability. C. Neutral dynamic stability. The correct answer is B. Static stability refers to the initial tendency of an aircraft to return to its original position after a disturbance. Positive static stability means that when the airplane is disturbed from its trimmed state, it will tend to return to its original position. In this case, if the airplane attitude tends to return to its original position after the elevator control is pressed forward and released, it indicates that the airplane has positive static stability. This means that the airplane has a natural stability that helps it maintain its desired attitude and resist deviations. Dynamic stability, on the other hand, refers to the aircraft's ability to smoothly and progressively return to its original state after a disturbance. It involves the aircraft's response over time. The statement in the question does not provide information about the dynamic stability of the aircraft. Therefore, the correct answer is that the airplane displays positive static stability. 5226. If the airplane attitude remains in a new position after the elevator control is pressed forward and released, the airplane displays A. Neutral longitudinal static stability. B. Positive longitudinal static stability. C. Neutral longitudinal dynamic stability. The correct answer is A. Static stability refers to the initial tendency of an aircraft to return to its original position after a disturbance. In this case, if the airplane attitude remains in a new position after the elevator control is pressed forward and released, it indicates that the airplane lacks a natural tendency to return to its original position. This suggests neutral longitudinal static stability. Positive longitudinal static stability would mean that the airplane, after being disturbed from its trimmed state, would tend to return to its original position. However, the The statement in the question indicates that the airplane attitude remains in a new position, indicating a lack of positive stability. Dynamic stability refers to the aircraft's ability to smoothly and progressively return to its original state after a disturbance over time. The question does not provide information about the dynamic stability of the aircraft. 5227. Longitudinal dynamic instability in an airplane can be identified by A. Bank oscillations becoming progressively steeper. B. Pitch oscillations becoming progressively steeper. C. Latitudinal roll oscillations becoming progressively steeper. The correct answer is B. Longitudinal dynamic instability refers to the aircraft's instability in the pitch axis, which involves the up and down motion of the nose. When an airplane is longitudinally dynamically unstable, it means that the pitching oscillations become progressively steeper over time. Bank oscillations becoming progressively steeper refers to lateral instability and is not directly related to longitudinal dynamic instability. Lateral roll oscillations becoming progressively steeper refers to lateral or roll instability, which is different from longitudinal dynamic instability.